What is a cash secure put? In this video, that's what I'm going to talk about. I mentioned in some of my other videos, and now I sell options, and it's one of the ways I make income. And I'm hoping to share that with you guys so that you guys can start making income yourself, because some of you can actually do this starting today and don't even know you can. How? I'll explain it in a minute. But first, definitions, right? When you sell options, right, there is contracts. So one contract equals 100 shares. That's the first thing you need to know, because without knowing that, you can't even get into this. Meaning you have to have the money to buy 100 shares of a stock, which is why a lot of people don't do this strategy, because a lot of people don't have that money, or they think they don't have that money. And I'll explain that in a second. So when I sell one contract of a cash secure put, right, of any stock, it means I am willing to buy 100 shares of a stock, right? And for me willing to buy that 100 shares, someone, the buyer in this scenario, the buyer, because I am the seller, the buyer decides to pay me a premium to promise them, right, as a promise to buy the stocks at a certain price. So how does this work, right? Cash secure put. Now, the reason it's called a cash secure put is because you need the cash to secure the put, right? So like I just explained, if you wanted to buy Amazon, for example, and it's at $200, you would need $20,000. If you don't have that, you got to do a different stock. I mean, they have other stocks that you can get started with that are pretty cheap, like AT&T stock. That's a $30 stock, which means you only need $3,000 to get started. So you could do this with other stocks. Now, some of you are like, where am I going to come up with $3,000? Well, you have options, right? Number one, you can go make more money. Or number two, a lot of you already have a 401k or IRA, I should say, because in the 401k, you won't be able to do this because you're limited to what, they let you do in a 401k. You can only invest in funds. But if you have a Roth IRA already, you can possibly do this, especially if you have a Roth that has over $3,000. But in order to do that, you would have to sell everything you have in your Roth. So you have to sell everything you have in your Roth so you make the money available. Let's say you had a $5,000 Roth right now, and it's mixed. You have, S&P 500. Let's say you have, Tesla, Amazon, Apple. You have a couple of stocks in there, and they're growing, and you're making money, and you don't plan on touching that till retirement. Well, you can actually sell all those stocks. Remember, you don't pay taxes because it's a Roth. You can sell them all, have the cash available, and then you can start running the wheel on a specific stock. So those are the options, right? So a lot of people can start this right away and don't even know. That's actually how I got started. I used my Roth where I already had money in there, and I just sold everything I had, made the money available, and started running the wheel on certain stocks. And this is how I got started. Now, again, back to the cash secure put. So what's happening here is I am getting paid a premium to promise somebody that I will buy their shares at a certain price at a certain date. So it's a certain price, certain date. These are the two things you have to worry about. You have to pick a price and you have to pick a date. Usually I pick around 30 days, 30 to 45 days, but I like to do 30 days because it kind of just gives me the guaranteed income every month. So I know how much I'm gonna make per month, because I picked 30 days. So by the end of the 30 days, I know how much I'm gonna make automatically. So the way it works is, let's use simple numbers, right? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a graphic, and we're gonna go over this example with a graphic so that it makes it a lot clearer. Let me show you. Okay, so here's an example of a cash secure put, right? So in this case, remember, we're trying to buy a stock at a cheaper price. So this contract expires in 30 days. The premium is $2.50. You would always see the premium as an individual per stock. But obviously one contract is 100 shares. So the 250 times 100 premium will be $250 you get paid to open up this cash secure put. So let's say the current price is at $100 and we're willing to buy it at $90. So we get a $10 discount to buy it, plus we get that premium of $250. Now, in order to do this, you have to have $9,000 available of collateral in your account, so that if it actually goes under that price at expiration, you have the cash to buy the stock. So in this example, like I said, let's assume the price is at 100 right now, and we want to sell a cash secured put at $90. Here are the only two things that can happen. At expiration, if the price is above $90, then you keep the $250 premium, and you also free up your $9,000 of collateral you can use again for next month. And number two would be if the price is under $90, then you are responsible to buy 100 shares of this stock at $90. Now, it doesn't matter what price is at. It can be $80, $70, doesn't matter. You're required to buy 100 shares at the $90 strike price. And those are the only two scenarios that you get. But even though you're buying the 100 shares at $90, you also get the $250 premium. So either way, you get the $250 premium. One way, you get the premium plus your collateral back, and you can repeat this process again next month. The other way, you get the premium and 100 shares of the stock, and that lead you into the second part of the wheel, which is selling covered calls, which is something like, it's like renting out your stocks. And I'll cover that in another video, and that's how you run the wheel. But this is just a cash secure put. This is how it is, and this is an example. Hopefully that helps. And stay tuned for the cover call video. I'll make that one soon, and then I'll add both of them together and make a wheel video. So see you guys in the next one.